Greetings, loved ones. One of the most stressful situations a parent or caregiver can face is finding out that their child has acted out in a sexual way. It can be difficult to know what to do. Today we're going to talk about what to do when you discover your child has a sexual behavior problem. So help us get these messages out. Please subscribe to our channel, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, hit the like button and the notification bell, and please share these messages with others. You could save a life. So let's talk about when your child has a sexual behavior problem. Again, I'm going to say one of the most stressful situations a parent or caregiver can face is finding out that their child has acted out in a sexual way, and it can be difficult to know what to do. If you discover that your child has a sexual behavior problem, you may experience a range of reactions, including difficulty believing that the behavior really happened, anger at your child, at the other children involved, at yourself, and at the world in general. You might feel upset with or withdrawing from your child. You may have sadness and depression, guilt and shame, isolation, disappointment in your child and yourself, confusion and uncertainty, especially if it is unclear why your child is sexually acting out. You may have nightmares and other traumatic stress reactions, particularly if you were sexually abused as a child. Whatever your reaction, know that with support, you and your child can move beyond this stressful time. You're not alone. Many other parents have had to cope with sexual behavior problems in their children and have experienced similar emotions and reactions. Problem sexual behaviors in children are quite responsive to treatment, particularly when the caregivers are actively involved in the treatment, and future sexual behavior problems can be prevented. Even though children with sexual behavior problems are much like children with other types of behavioral problems, many people may react more strongly to these problems because they are sexual in nature. As you move forward in getting help for your child, keep in mind that children with sexual behavior problems are first and foremost children. Your child may have made a poor decision, but he or she can learn to make good decisions. And there are treatment options for children with sexual behavior problems. I want you to know that active involvement of parents or other caregivers is essential to maximize the benefits of treatment for children with sexual behavior problems. Treatment should be conducted by a licensed mental health professional with specific knowledge of child development, including child sexual development, childhood mental health issues, including attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, that's ADHD, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and other reactions to child trauma. They must know the relationship between social environment and sexual behaviors and scientific research on treatment for childhood mental health disorders and sexual behavior problems, and cultural variations in parenting and attitudes towards sexuality. Once you have chosen a psychologist, he or she will do an evaluation to decide how best to help your child and your family. This evaluation will typically include talking to you, other caregivers, and other adults in your child's life, talking to your child, particularly if the child is 6 years of age or older, asking caregivers and perhaps teachers to fill out information checklists about your child, and do psychological testing of your child. The psychologist should talk with you about what he or she found out from the evaluation, and this is the information you need to know. Whether the behavior is common or an indication of a sexual behavior problem, what other concerns or issues may need to be addressed with treatment, what supports and protective factors are present in the family and community. Several types of treatment have been shown to be helpful for children with sexual behavior problems and their families. And during treatment, the psychologist will work directly with your child. The psychologist will also teach you and other caregivers how to implement rules about private parts and sexual behaviors, the use of parenting strategies that prevent and reduce sexual and other behavior problems, address sexual education topics with your child, support abuse prevention strategies and skills, and enhance communication skills and improve the quality of your relationship with your child. Other treatment characteristics that may be helpful include addressing the following topics with the child in an age-appropriate way. You can talk about privacy rules, sexual behavior rules, and boundary rules. You can talk about abuse prevention skills and the labeling and expressing of feelings and skills to reduce stress. You can talk about impulse control strategies and decision-making skills, and you can talk about social skills. So here's a myth. All children with sexual behavior problems grow up to be sex offenders. That's a lie. The fact is, children who receive treatment for their sexual behavior problems rarely commit sexual offenses or abuse as adults. One study followed a group of children for 10 years after they were treated. The vast majority, 98%, did not commit sexual offenses of any kind, and the group was no more likely to commit sexual offenses than children with a past of only non-sexual behavior problems. Most children with sexual behavior problems can benefit from outpatient therapy. Outpatient therapy allows the child to stay in the home and community and usually involves the child, the parents, and other important caregivers and family members. Outpatient therapy is relatively short-term and can often be completed in 3 to 6 months if the family regularly attends therapy sessions, actively participates in services, and practices skills between sessions. Some children will require more intensive treatments, and these include inpatient treatment and residential care. These options are generally reserved for more severe cases, such as children who have severe psychiatric disorders, such as psychotic symptoms like hearing voices, or exhibit highly aggressive or coercive sexual behaviors or sexual behavior problems that continue even when they get treatment and are closely supervised by their parents. And also when children have suicidal ideations, including specific plans for killing themselves or have specific plans to physically harm others. For more information on treatment options for children with sexual abuse problems, and we're going to put all this information in the description, see the Association for the Treatment of Sexual Abusers, ATSA report of the Task Force on Children with Sexual Behavior Problems. It's available at atsa.com. When choosing an inpatient or residential facility, you want to look for a program that allows you to be actively involved in your child's treatment, provides the least restrictive environment while providing needed safety measures, limits the number of other changes in the child's life, such as school placement or after-school activities, has a clear plan for transitioning your child back into your home, including assisting you in taking any needed safety measures. I know these are difficult issues to discuss and think about, but they're extremely important because according to the CDC, over half of all children in the world, that's 1 billion children ages 2 to 17, experience violence every year. And the question is not if you'll encounter a victim of violence. The question before God is what will you do when you do encounter them? You could be the person who saves a life. Micah 6:8 says, He has showed you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you? To do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. You are called. We are all called to be champions for justice. And if you're a victim of violence, I want you to listen to me. There is a way out. It is not your fault. Abuse is not love. You are not alone. If you're suffering violence, reach out to someone today. If you find yourself in a dangerous situation, call 911 for help. If you know of a child or other person suffering violence, tell the authorities. In our next episode, we will talk about keeping children safe. Until then, God bless you.